Hi neighbors, welcome back to another video of Cooking with Neighbors. Today I'm going to be canning tomatoes, so I thought why not share how I do this. I have a bag of citric acid, and what I do for every point of tomatoes, I put a quarter teaspoon of this in because nowadays the tomatoes might not carry as much acid as they did years ago. So this is just to make sure that there's enough acidity in the jars to keep them good for a while. I'm going to get my jars going here after I boil some water. How is everybody doing? Oh my gosh, this pot's heavy. What I did, when I'm canning, I always add some vinegar to my water, and it'll keep your jars from getting that filmy, whitish kind of chalky look on them. So this is a large pot, so I put just like a third to a half of a cup of vinegar in this. Wash my hands really well, and I'll do that again. These are my lids and my bands in my lids. I'm going to pour boiling water over them, and I'm just going to set them aside and let them sit in the boiling water. And when I'm doing the tomatoes, a stainless steel pot or carbon steel, clean, and you're going to put the tomatoes in boiling water. I do a raw packing method because you get a more concentrated flavor, and it's really good. So I make a little X in my tomatoes to make them easier to peel. I don't know what I missed or not on the video. I poured boiling water over my lids there, and I'm boiling some more water here. I have a bowl of cold water because when these come out of the boiling water, I am going to throw them in the cold water to stop the cooking process because I'm doing the raw method with my tomatoes. And when you're doing the raw method, you're going to want to have a longer processing time. Look at them, aren't they beautiful? Can't see them. They're going to have a longer processing time to make sure that your jars and tomatoes get heated right through to the center. I put the little X at the stem part there. When I am peeling them, I'll cut off any parts that aren't good. My jars, I'm going to boil them to sanitize them. I actually put them on sanitize in my dishwasher, but that, that's, I still do this step as well. So I sanitize them in the boiling water for a good 10 minutes. Then I take them out and I put them on a cloth. And yeah, just going to wash my hands again. Sanitize all of your utensils in your boiling water before using them. I also cut some basil. I'm not going to make like a certain blend of seasoning for these batches that I'm doing today. I just keep it simple, and I add a basil or two in the jar as I'm packing. I did have boiling water in this, but I let it boil in the pot and then I poured it out. Just make sure that my pot is like extra clean. Put a few liters or quarts if you want, almost 2 liters of water. And I'm going to drop my tomatoes in. But you're only going to have them in there for 30 to 60 seconds. And then you're going to take them on out. I'm just doing it. The skin will kind of start to loosen, and you'll notice that. Last year I did, not on channel, but last year I did San Marzano. Tomatoes this year, I'm doing Roma tomatoes. Oh, a tip. I got another tip for you. When you take in your tomatoes from the garden or from a market, spread them out onto newspaper in a dark, dry place. And you spread them out over your newspaper, don't have them touching, and then just turn them daily. Uh, this will keep them from spoiling too fast. I do a lot of canning. I haven't done a lot on the channel. I have some green tomato chow, which I grew up with, and oh my God, we love it. It is so good. And I'll link that in the description box. I love canning. It's very relaxing to me. And you just take them on out, and I'm going to put them in some cold water, and then I'm going to peel the skin off. It's very easy, especially after you put that little slit in there in your tomatoes. Okay, so clean hands. Just peel it off. Sometimes you can peel quite a bit off very easy. And then if you see any bad spots, you take it off. Now you can half these or quarter them to place in your jars. And you take the stem off, like the core part there. You just scoop her on out. No big deal. Easy peasy. So clean hands. And then I half them. And I put in the jar. Now, if you don't have the citric acid, for every point you could add a tablespoon of lemon juice to give it that acidity that it may need. However, it will change the flavor slightly. Then I add a bay leaf or two.
I mean basil,
There.
fresh basil.
Now I'll add another one in there. It smells amazing. That's a fresh a bay leaf. Listen to me. That's fresh basil. Did I say bay leaf before? I hope not. Anyway, basil, fresh basil. I don't add salt. I figure when I'm making my sauces, I add my seasonings and salt and stuff then. And I'm going to pack them, and I probably will have to adjust it in the... It farted. It tooted. I will have to probably adjust them. I'm just over here. I gotta put in, I got 3 more of these large jars to put in. I love doing the tomatoes. I love doing canning, like I said earlier, but I love doing tomatoes because using these like later on in sauces and everything. What a difference having these. What you want to do when you're packing them is leave half-inch or a centimeter, this headspace. Got to put my quarter teaspoon. You can, what I'm going to do is add the quarter teaspoon to my jars over there so you don't forget. It's a good habit.
And actually, because these are large jars, I need to put a total of a half teaspoon, which I realize in a second, and I do.
Okay, because they're the large jars, it'd be a half teaspoon. Wash my hands again. When you wipe your lid, I use the water that has been boiled, got a little bit of vinegar in it, and then I'm sanitizing my lids and bands and whatever in, and then I wipe the top off with that paper towel. See the juices already coming out of the tomatoes? so fantastic. So you just put your straw or what have you, your sanitized. I find the knife apparently could hurt your jar.
This releases any air pockets that may be in your jar and lets the liquid seep down through. Sometimes I find this raw packed method, if the tomatoes aren't given off enough juice, sometimes you end up having to put a quarter of a cup of boiling water into the jar.
It's better to use this. Here I am just putting them in there, but it's better to use that. Then you get less mess on your jar. Then finger tight, and that'll be going in the water shortly. I'm just going to fill up some more, like any bruised parts you don't want to have, right? I'm gonna get a new paper towel. You can put a little bit of boiling water in your jar just to keep it warm so it's not going into your canner cold if you find that they're cooling off too much. Make sure these are clean, and you have to use new ones. Of your lids, you can reuse your bands if they're not damaged in any way.
And you don't want rust marks on your bands neither.
Your top of your jars have to be clean because you might not get a proper seal if there's even the tiniest bit of, tomato left on it or anything. Don't let these touch. I have a rack in there that helps me separate my jars. More water. You want them to be submerged. When I add the other jar, I'm only going to put 4 in right now. When I add the other jar, it's going to come up higher. I'm just going to turn that down for a second. Okay, I actually got enough from down the basement. I'll go down and get some more for the other jars. But I just can only put 4 in here because the water will be too high. So I got them a little submerged in there. Put my cover on. And when you pack them in there and you're making sure there's no air pockets, you can use, I learned that using a knife is not the best thing, even though that's what I always did in the past. Use something that may be like a wooden or like a clean wooden thing or silicone spatula and let out any air pockets. But when you're packing it, a lot of the juice is going to start getting released and you'll get the air pockets out. Put a little bit more in that one. And if you want a seasoned, like an Italian seasoned blend, I'm going to put one coming up the screen that you can use in your canning if you want it. And I'll also put a link where you can read up on like how to process the amount of time. Like I'm going to process mine for at least 85 to 90 minutes because they are raw. And you can check in the link, like in your area where you live, how far above sea level you are so that you can adjust if need be, okay? The processing time. But after the 85 minutes with the lid on, Uh, then you just turn it off and take the lid off and wait another 10 minutes before taking them out of the water. That way they don't come out right into the cold air. So after the processing time, even 15, and then take them out. Put them on clean cloth. You know, don't put them on a cold counter or anything like that that maybe will chance your jars breaking on you. So put a towel, that's what I'm gonna get. So I put a towel out, a nice thick towel, and I put them on top of that. Okay, so there they are, neighbors. 90 minutes I processed them for. Then I turned off the water, took the lid off, and I let them sit in the water for 10, 12 minutes. Then I took them out, put them on the towel. They already popped. They only took a few minutes and they went pop, 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 pop. So you'll see they're all smooth. There's no little bubble in the center. And yeah, they're all sealed. I'll tighten them up, the bands up tomorrow morning. They're popped and everything, but I don't want to tighten them with them being so hot. So I'll just cover them up and they stay nice and cozy in there, and I'll finish my rest tomorrow. Now, if this is, if you found this video useful or you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Share it on your social media if you think people may benefit from watching the video. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope that if you think this is a channel that you will enjoy, I hope you subscribe.